That's right, I see the chat. I see y'all rocking. I see y'all coming. Hit that like button as you enter the building. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Show your love. Show your support. You know what I'm saying? This that dope soul. This that new thing. Nobody don't know about it.
Hello, Knick family. Welcome to Stats and Storylines, where we preview this week's opponents. The Knicks play the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA Cup Finals. Who else we play? Just that quick. Y'all know my condition. Indiana, Philadelphia, and Miami again. So we're here to talk about it. I'm joined by Ajay, the villain, Hollywood, Green Lantern, and DJ Shuttle, all aboard. How you fellas doing?
Sometimes I'm the Hulk.
So
depends on the day.
Pops 718-178. Appreciate you. How you guys doing?
Salute, Queen. Always happy to be here, and definitely super happy we have DJ Shuttle with us in the house today. You know, hood on and everything. So, you know, we in for a good one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, now we definitely in 20 championship, bring it home mode. You know what I mean? But yeah, everything good. We got an action-packed week, the tournament, and then, you know, we get back into some of the teams that we love to hate, like Indiana. Can't wait. And you
they
know,
a mess though.
Nah, kicking while they down. That's what the hoodie's all about right now. Kicking while they down.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Finish him.
Right.
Exactly.
Jerrell and Coach in the chat. Listen, before we hop into San Antonio, just briefly your thoughts on the Knicks this past week, and for you, Shuttle, for the season, and we'll get right into San Antonio, that matchup.
Man, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not really particularly hyped about this whole midseason tournament thing because, you know, every game counts. You know, I grew up practicing like it's a game. You know what I mean? So like this whole thing, like we got to incentivize people to play and give them, you know, mid-season tournament. I'm kind of like 50-50 on that. However, it's here, and the fact that it is here and the players seem to be engaged in it and trying to win it, being what it is, I'm happy to see that, you know, the team is taking it serious. And you know, of course, this is not anything to go right home all about because we care about the championship a whole lot more. But, you know, I got to respect it. And I'm glad to see the team headed in this direction because, you know, to get here, you had to be the team that is, I feel, a serious threat to the Knicks in the playoffs. So by beating Orlando and getting here, that to me says more about this tournament really than the tournament itself.
Yeah. Facts. Ajay, anything to add?
You know what? And I'm gonna not even add, I'm gonna echo what Shuttle just said. And like I said last week, Queen, you know, I don't particularly care about the tournament. To me, you know, like I said, we're fans of the game, so we watch whatever, you know, we don't have that problem. We don't have that low rating problem, you know, in December, because we watch every game. Right, where, you know, we build our schedule around the game, so we, you know, this is not for us, it's for other people. But if the Knicks are in it, I'm in it. If the Knicks weren't, I wouldn't be. It you know, no skin off my back. And the fact that they're in the final, in the cup final, I'm excited. Of course, I hope they win, and I want them to win every game they play. And, you know, it's just gonna be, you know, another nod. You know, it's and I do expect them to play well, and I do expect it to be a very competitive game. And if they do win, I want to see a banner go up there just like every other team. Okay, nobody's gonna make fun of us, make us think that, oh yeah, I get a little cup banner. You know, the other teams put up a banner, so will we if we win. So, but you know, hopefully we get there tomorrow. The Knicks are in it, I'm in it.
All right. Well, we'll save that question. I think that's an interesting question. I think the fan base is mixed on that. We'll definitely talk about it, but this is the Knicks. The Knicks are 16-7 on the season. Is that right, or is it 18-7 now?
18-7.
18-7. Yeah, this is old. This is old. Yeah. So I remember it though. The Knicks are 18-7 on the season. They're second in the Eastern Conference. They're actually 9-1 over their last 10. They've won their last 5. They're 13-1 at home and 4-6 on the road. Remember, the game that they beat Orlando and Las Vegas did not count as a home. Does not count as a home, an away win.
Correct.
I should say. McBride and Shaman, as far as I know, remain out. If anybody have heard anything different, please let me know. The Knicks right now are number 11 in defensive rating. We're playing some other than Indiana. I think we're playing some good teams. San Antonio is very good. Wemby is back. Indy is a hot mess. We'll talk about them. Philly is rounding into shape with Embiid back, Paul George back. Maxey has been out for the past 2 games, but I anticipate he'll be back by the time we play them. He's out with an illness, and then we play Miami again, number 5 in defensive rating. The Knicks are number 11. From what you've seen, Ajay, from what you've seen, DJ Shuttle, does this look like a number 11 defensive team? Do you have some concerns about that, or are they what the numbers say they are?
Shuttle, you want to go? Before Shuttle go, one more thing, Queen. We have the longest current winning streak in the NBA. It's only 5. It's only 5 games, but that's, we rocking that right now. Go ahead, Shuttle. I don't if you want to go first.
Sure. I mean, for just the eye test, looking at the team in isolation, it looks worse than 11. If I saw this and you asked me where do I think this team was rated on defense, I would say in the bottom 10. However, if you watch enough of other teams, you see how poor the other teams are. Also, keeping in mind, I'm looking at the schedule, especially the last 10 games. There's been a lot of cupcakes on this schedule, and it should be allowing the team to have a better defensive rating. To me, even better than it is. So I haven't really been very impressed with the defense at all. I think it's one of those cases where 11 being a respectable number is not fully indicating where the team needs to be better on defense. So, I'm taking that with a grain of salt.
Okay. Ajay, and then I have one other question for you guys before we move on to San Antonio.
Grain of salt, but I'll say very cautious, right? I'm optimistically cautious. And the reason why I say that is because I do see that the defense has improved from the beginning of the season, right? I don't know if it could be attributed to the teams that we play or, what our schedule is. I don't know. But bottom line is when you watch the game, you see there's a little more effort, especially on the part of the guys who are notorious poor defensive players. We're talking about Cat, Brunson, and even guys like Josh Hart, who he's not a great defensive player. He get caught ball watching all the time, or not even paying attention to the play, or maybe more focused on where the next rebound's going to be. But right now, it looks like he's a little bit more focused on defense. If I'm not mistaken, I think Cat, the last game, got defensive player of the game or something like that.
From the coaching staff, yes.
From the coaching staff. So that was pretty good for a guy who, we complain about his defense. I watched the game. I see a few defensive oopsies on his part, like a misassignment or poor effort. A guy his size at least should have your hands up when somebody's coming at you, or at least try to intimidate. I saw a few possessions where he was in the area and just didn't do anything. But Bottom line is, at least there's a little bit more effort put into it. It's not, you can't expect it overnight to be 100% all of a sudden he's going to be a great defensive player, right? But at least you see a little bit of improvement. So, I'm a little cautious, and I hope it keeps improving. So right now it's moving in the right direction. Hopefully it keeps moving in that direction.
All right. Let's add Jay Boogie and ask him the question before we move on to San Antonio. Boogie, how are you?
I'm blessed, fam. Hope you all happy holidays, blessings, health, happiness to everybody. I'm good, fam. Shout out to the chat.
Hold on, Jay Boogie. I'm turning on ESPN, right? One day I'm in the car. I don't listen to the music and the radio that much, but I turn on ESPN. I can't tell you whose show it is, but they got Jay Boogie on a sound bite. I'm like, hold on, that's Jay Boogie right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What show is that they got that sound bite with you on there, bro?
I'd be honest with you, I don't even know.
Oh man, I wish I would have caught that. But anyway, salute to you. Long time.
Yeah, man. What up, Shuttle? How you feeling, my king?
Oh man, everything blessed, man. We in this 20, you know what I mean? You know, old school guys like me and you, we don't really care too much about this 20, but we here, so let's take it while we here, right?
Right. Don't be here just visiting. Now we here. We got a lot of things going on in Vegas.
Facts. We're about to get into the matchup against San Antonio, but we were just talking about the Knicks a little bit before we did that, Boogie. They're ranked 11th in defensive rating, and I was just asking everybody if, to the eye test, from what you see, does that match up with what you see? Do you think we still, need a little work? What's your thoughts on the Knicks defense?
The defense is going to have to get better. It's going to have to get better. You know, getting buckets, scoring. Sometimes it's not about trying to outscore the other team. Sometimes it's going to have to be about making sure I stop the other team. And I'm not talking about in key moments. I'm talking about like on runs of the game defense. You know, getting multiple stops. It's like almost like, the defense we got a couple of defensive guys that know how to play decent, even when they was with our coach from last year. But it's kind of like some of our defense don't went out the window. Guys don't kind of like shied away from defense or whatever. But the defense is going to have to get better. We're going to have to be able to, defend a whole lot better, protect a whole lot better. You know what I'm saying? And rebound a whole lot better if we want to move forward. Offense is straight. We can score with the best of them if there's nobody next to us. But defense is going to have to get better.
How much of a believer are you in the net rating? And by that, I mean that if your offense is really good, your defense obviously can't be in the bottom 10, but it doesn't have to be as good as if, versus teams that have difficulty scoring the ball. So in other words, the offense being as good as it is, how good does the defense need to be?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll at least like to see us at a solid 8.
Oh, okay.
If that, says anything, we're going to have to be at least a solid 8 to me. That's on a scale of 1 to 10. The ratings and all that, that's not my thing. But I can say on a scale of 1 to 10, we're going to have to be nothing less than an 8, and the 8's going to have to be solid.
Okay. And truth be told, Steph, like as great as those offensive juggernaut Golden State Warriors teams were, when they won those championships, they had good defensive ratings, and it wasn't solely that they had a great net, like they were scoring 130 and giving up 110. Like they had good defensive ratings. They were able to, most importantly, really shut down when they counted most. And they had a guy that is an anchor of the defense that you can rely on to play every game and play 35 to 40 minutes every game. You know what I mean? And we got one guy that is a paint protector, rim protector that plays every other game and plays 17 minutes a game. And OG and Mikal can't do it by themselves.
I think I don't disagree. I think Karl-Anthony Towns' defense is underrated. I think we see him missing rotations, and we think overall he's just terrible. I think there's many aspects to team defense, just like there's many aspects to individual defense, right? One-on-one in the post, one-on-one in space, pick and roll defense, rim protection defense, and I don't think he grades out terribly in any of those categories. However, if you watch him, it seems that way. It seems that way because we watch very intensely, and we're watching every single possession, and we see him not getting over on rotations, and it looks terrible. And we like, this guy, we ain't going nothing with him in the house. But I forgot who I was listening to, and I have to check these. It might have been, oh man. Oh man. I forget. Oh man. It's the podcast with XJ, and Carl Anthony Towns is in the 90th percentile in rim protection. He's in the 90th percentile in rim. There's another category that takes into account block shots, altered shots, things of that sort. He's in the 90th percentile as far as that's concerned. And I don't know if it's the 90th percentile, but hoops hand theory, I think it is. He's up there also in defensive, what is it? Defensive box anyway, in another category. So, there is the eye test and then there is the stats, and both of them could be misleading, right? Stats can be misleading too. Don't get me wrong. But I say that to say he may not be as bad as he looks to us when we watch it. And he does turn it up. Like in this cup game, he turned it up a little bit. Last year in the playoffs, he's turned it up a little bit. He has the ability. Sometimes I question his effort, but he has that ability. Then you have, OG. And then you have Bridges, who's playing, in my opinion, lights out. Hart has been better, right? Hart has been better. I think we're going to be okay, particularly when McBride comes back, Shamet comes back. I think Mike Brown does a good job in terms of mixing up those, lineups, those defensive lineups. I think we're going to be okay, but I agree with you. I was kind of shocked. I was like, what? We 10? 11? Doesn't look like that when I'm,
It doesn't look like
it. Yeah. When I'm watching it, but we still have the rest of the season to go. What's up, AD? You welcome. You welcome to join us. All right, let's move into talking about this matchup with San Antonio in the Emirates NBA Cup Finals. That's a Tuesday game. I believe it's at 8:30, Las Vegas. They're 8-7 in the Western Conference, 5th. 7-3 in their last 10. They've won 3 in a row, 9-2 at home, 8-5 on the road. And we'll get back to that. This would be Wembenyama's second game back. I believe he's missed 12 games, if I'm not mistaken, and they went 9-3 in those games. So they did really well without him. Obviously, they'll do better with him. Just that OKC game, I think he scored 15 or 22 points in that 15 in that fourth quarter, and they're just a different team when he's there. They also have dynamic guards, right? Fox, Castle, Vassell, the rookie Harper. And OKC, that game was their first game as a full team, right? Prior to that, somebody had been out. Overall thoughts, overall thoughts on the matchup. Shuttle, we'll start with you, then Boogie, and then Ajay. Just preliminary thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, super salute to Wemby. 22 points, 21 minutes, 9 boards, 2 blocks. I mean, it's clearly a difference when he's out there. He is the real unicorn. And I was a little surprised to see the Knicks 2.5-point favorites. A little bit surprised to see that. I thought the Spurs would have been the favorite here, but I'll take it. I think this will be a really close matchup. Hopefully Cat can pull Wemby away from the rim. You got to defend him. I don't think that they have the type of wings to match up against Cat like other teams sometimes do. And I think it's going to be a great matchup. I'm looking forward to a very intense playoff atmosphere. You know what I mean? So I'm anxious to see how the Knicks come out in this one. I know one thing: Brunson's going to come out to play. That I do know. He's going to come out to play, and it's going to be interesting to see how the team decides to defend Wemby too. Just like what's gonna happen with him on defense, what's gonna happen when we match up against him. You know, Mike Brown might do something unorthodox. He might put OG on him. Who knows? You know, Wemby's not a prototypical post up.
Correct.
You know, big man. He plays a lot on the wing and outside, initiates the offense and all that stuff. So, you know, you could literally put OG on him and see how that goes. So it should be a great game.
Preliminary thoughts before we get into some. I have some other questions for you guys on it. Boogie, preliminary thoughts on the matchup?
212,000 is not enough for the guys. Need a little bit more than that. And this game tomorrow night can give us all that. You know, we need to start leaning towards championship is a big giant name amongst the New York Knicks, amongst the New York City community, period. And this is our first time being able to win something in the Brunson era. I mean, win something now. We haven't won the division. We haven't won the conference. You know what I'm saying? None of that. But to make it here inside this cup for a championship game, I want it. Be honest with you. I hope they want it because we're deserving of something. And it's going to make the team that feel that much better of themselves, knowing how to accomplish and win something, you know. And going against San Antonio, that's a good matchup, you know. If I may just hurdle to the side, shout out to my guy Hard Will, who's played a major part in raising Stephon Castle. Shout out to Hard Will. We all know who Hard Will is. You know, he's been on, you know, for the love of the game. So let me shout him out for that. And I picked them guys all on Twitter, and people thought I was crazy. I picked them guys to beat OKC. Because anytime you have multiple athletic ball handlers that can get from point A to point B to point C with that rock in their hand to the basket, middies, trays, push it up a fast break, nobody has to wait. The point guard don't have to go get the ball. Whoever rebound, these guys can just take off with it. So they're a very difficult matchup, and I knew there was a difficult matchup for Oklahoma because they didn't allow them to switch and trap like they normally could because they had too many ball handlers. But I look for inspectors to win this game. We're highlighting this Cup series. You can tell by the commercial. You got Towns. He's the number one guy of the commercial. He says, there go the trophy. He jumps out the window. You know, some might think that was Will Smith acting in his role play because they look like one another. But that was really Anthony Towns jumping out that window to go get that cup. You can't be in that commercial feeling like that and not performing. So game one, he performed. I love the way he performed against Orlando. He did his thing. I need that to carry over. You got a bigger giraffe in front of you. But I really look for us to win this game and start feeling better about winning something. And that's going to help the team. It's going to give guys more confidence. It's going to give guys know that, yeah, we can accomplish things as a team. And I look for Brunson to do his thing. I think the last time we saw San Antonio, it was a 60-piece. Even though we took an L, you know, it was a 60-piece. So their team pretty much has not changed, but our team has changed. So, you know, I'm looking for us to win this tournament, you know, as far as bringing this cup back to New York City. And New York is in the building. You see Nas is still in the building. The orange blue, people don't travel. I feel very comfortable like we at home.
AJ, what do you think we need to do to win the game? But before you get into that, let me just briefly just take a look at San Antonio, 8-7. We talked about this. Their record, they're 8-7. They're 9-2 at home, 8-5 away. They're 7 in offensive rating, 14 in defensive rating, 8 in net rating, 8 in rebounding percentage, and 11 in offensive rebounding percentage. So they rebound a really good percentage of their misses, just like the Knicks. 6 in defensive rebounding percentage. So they're a really good defensive rebounding team as well. And I should say the offensive and defensive rating have been without Wemby, with Wemby missing 12 games. Right. And so it could have been better. But this is just an overview of them. Ajay, back to you. What do you think the Knicks have to do to win?
Pretty much do what we've been doing better the past few games, right? So, and what's that we've been doing? Stay active on defense and push the pace a little bit. I don't know if you know, it's the problem with the Knicks, right? So we played Orlando, and we know Orlando's notorious for pushing the ball, right? So we match their speed, and we're able to beat them. If we continue with that same speed, we'll have a better chance against San Antonio, right? San Antonio, I don't even have to look at the stats. I know they're not a super fast team simply because they have Wembenyama, who's not super fast, you know,
But
in the
go
lineup.
ahead. Mhm.
Okay, so if we continue to do that, listen, matchup wise, it's not a favorable matchup for us, but then we can also cause some problems, some matchup problems for them, right? You listen, Victor Wembanyama, he's a matchup problem for anybody in the league right now. All right, so and we're no different. Okay, just like Jalen Brunson is a matchup problem for most guards in the league right now. So it's both coaches have to put the right strategy, the right game plan, and if we, of course, you need a little bit of luck for your shots to start falling and for your, for the refs to not call every little ticky foul. Especially this is a final, so hopefully they let the boys play. You know, that's the thing with San Antonio. If you play them tough, you have a good chance, right? Are they going to allow us to play tough, which we're not known for, but we can? We tough doesn't mean dirty, right? It means just tough defense, like relentless, like OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, like sticking on somebody. If we do those things, that I think we'll have it. We have a very good chance of beating them. I don't think. We talked about that last week. San Antonio's not an unbeatable team. Yeah, matchup is an issue, but it's the NBA, man. They're talented, and so is the Knicks. So,
Go ahead.
like I said, if we play the defense we've been trying to play lately, and of course we've been tremendous, we've been playing tremendous offense, I think we have a very, very good chance of winning that cup.
Any concerns, DJ Shuttle? I'll go to you after this. With this, they have good guards, right? Fox can get into key. Castle can get in the key. They have Vassell, who's a good shooter. They have the rookie Harper.
Harper.
And they like to get in the paint to either finish or draw and kick. And Barnes and Champagne, however his name is, those are the two really good 3-point shooters for them, right? So when they do get in the lane, if they're not finishing, they're looking for them. We are without two of our really good perimeter defenders in Miles McBride. Shaman is out. We got Brunson, we got Kolick, we have Clarkson. These guys are good in their own right, don't get me wrong, in terms of doing what they do, but they're not really good at that perimeter point of attack defense, keeping guys out the lane. Do you think that's a big part of how big of an issue do you think that's going to be? And what do you think Mike Brown will do to shore that up? Do you see him putting like bigger guys on them? Like, I don't know about OG on those small guards. Bridges. I mean, I think he can do it, but he's better playing wings. Just your thoughts on that.
Yeah, this is my concern when Deuce is out. This is my concern when Shaman is out. I mean, Shaman, even if you don't think he's the greatest defender, he at least plays very aggressive. You know what I mean? And to the point of aggression that was just made, like, you got to come out playing aggressive. The more aggressive you come from the tip off, the more the referees are going to understand. It's going to desensitize them a little bit to some of the fouls that are being called. Well, I'm a firm believer in that anyway. That's how I play. That's how I coached. So, I think it's definitely a valid concern. And this is why, again, I'm surprised that the ranking is as high as 11th, because to me, the defense doesn't really look that great. And I think that the number is high as it is because of some of the cupcake games that the team has played, wins against teams that won't be in the playoffs. And I mean, you can only play who's on the schedule. I get it, but I don't have any false impression of what the defense is. I think the defense still is in need of improvement, and against the Spurs specifically, not having Deuce will surely be missed. This will be a game for all the minutes police that if you want to win the game, you're not going to be able to be playing the bench a whole lot of minutes. You're going to have your best players out there playing the majority of the minutes. And when you want to win games, that's the way it goes, whether it's the coach we used to have or the coach we have now. What's interesting for me, though, is that we know, even though it's been a few years, Brown is from that Spurs family tree. And, maybe he has some sense of the nuances of, of what they like to do and tendencies, whatever. And hopefully he got a little cheat code.
Boogie, what do you think the Knicks have to do to win? And if you want to, you can comment on their guards and how the Knicks' hands are going to be full trying to keep them out the paint.
Oh, our hands is going to be full with those guards. They got a lineup where they got a lineup where they can put Wemby on the floor with Vessel, Harper, Fox, and CASHApp. They got a lineup like that, you know what I'm saying? And they can rotate Vessel with Johnson. They got guys that can put that, that can really do a lot of things. So our hands are going to be full on the defensive end, but you're going to have to make sure that they don't get other things. You got to make sure they don't get extra shots. When they miss, secure that rebound. Don't give them nothing extra. You're going to have to get back to the old school, you know what I'm saying, and sprint back on defense and turn around and at half court or something, see the ball. You're going to have to, it's things that we're going to have to do that we haven't been doing. Because like Bane was just running right up our neck after I made baskets. Yep. We can't allow these guys to be doing that because they don't run up one side of the floor. They run up in all three phases, both sides and straight up the middle. They got ball handlers that can go either way or can just take off. So we're going to have to narrow it down to, the least amount of mistakes, that can be played to win this game and take advantage. And at the same time, turn back and put it back on them too. Make them backpedal a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let them know we're a high-scoring team. Y'all going to have to play some D. And I like to use more, too much. I like to use more of what a team's going to do against us more than, what we have to do towards the team. You got to play us. You're going to have to, ball out and go against us. You know what I'm saying? So we got to make sure we secure that rock. When we secure that rock, make sure we play our game. And just because Wemby's down there, attack that basket. You know what I'm saying? Because our motion offense, it allows other guys that can slash and get to the rack, and OG and Bridges and Josh. These guys can get to the basket, and our offense is set. And at times, Wemby, you're gonna have to help out. And when he peaked to go help out, I mean, we got guys we can kick it to in towns that can shoot the rock, but don't settle them all. Don't settle. Put the pressure on them guys and let them know we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they score 58% of their points from the 2-point area. And I'm not particularly sure how much of it is in the paint, but a good amount of percentage of their points come from in the paint with Wemby and those guards who are not great 3-point shooters, right? So they want to get in the paint to score. Now, the Knicks are number 6 in limiting points in the paint. Let's see how that plays out tomorrow night. The Knicks are number 5 in 3-point attempts. They're number 7 in 3-point attempts, number 5 in 3-point efficiency. They shoot the 3 really well. And San Antonio is not very good, at least up to this point, in opponent 3-point efficiency, right? They're 26 or 25th. Like, teams are shooting a good percentage of threes against them, which is right in our wheelhouse. That's what we want to do. We take 45% of our shots from 3 and we shoot them well. Hopefully they're falling tomorrow, because if everything is true to form, we should get some good 3-point looks. And to your point, I think it was Boogie, they're number 10 in fast break points. So it's important that the Knicks are good in transition in terms of getting back. They're not a great 3-point, shooting team, but, they can shoot it. That's really what you want to do. Pack it in, limit them paint points, limit those transition points. And if you're going to beat us by hitting threes, then you're going to beat us by hitting threes. But you're not going to get a lot of fast break points, not going to get a lot of points in the paint. Easier said than done with those cats, those guys who can get in the paint, and we don't really have, good perimeter defenders at this time. Boogie, you wanted to say
So
something?
quick question. No, my fault. Go ahead, Sheldon. You raise your hand first. Go ahead.
You had mentioned something about the lack of paint success that teams are having against the Knicks. I was just gonna say that's good. At least you're doing something right because your 3-point percentage defense is terrible. So
I'm gonna put it up here.
yeah. So if your 3-point percentage is that bad, and considering you're playing, for me, I don't know if you have this and I looked at this a few days ago too, is the Knicks opposition strength of schedule or the strength ratings of the teams
I
they're
didn't
playing
look at
against.
that. That's a good point.
Yeah, and I mean, you beat Brooklyn, you beat Chicago, you beat the Cavs. I mean, you got a lot of wins against teams that are not going to be in the playoffs. And again, you only get play the schedule you're going to play, but when I see certain things like certain percentages and if they look high, I kind of, again, I take it with a grain of salt because you're going to hit a point in the schedule where you're going to be playing the top echelon teams back to back to back to back, and then we got to have a conversation at that point.
But can I say this, Shuttle? I think that's the same for all teams. Like the teams that are like top 10 in defensive rating, top 8, you would really have to look through their schedule too to see what's the strength of schedule, what teams have they played as well. And I'll also say the Knicks do have some good wins on the their schedule as well.
That's true. But this is why I don't personally, I don't use stats to get too hype or too down one way or the other. I mean, I'm old school. Like I know the game and I need to watch the game. I need to see who they're playing and how they're playing against those teams. That tells me more than what the season stats reflect for me personally.
No, I agree with that. But there have been games against good teams where I thought the Knicks defense had, played much better. And
True.
and again, it's different facets of the team because I fall into this myself. Like I'll watch a game and I'm focused on the pick and roll defense. And I'm like, how the hell are we gonna win a championship? Look. But then when you look at this, that there are other facets to defense.
True.
So, but anyway, to your point, I just wanted to point out, Boogie, we're number 16 in opponent 3-point percentage, but San Antonio was number 25. They might be 6 tomorrow. This is cumulative. This is telling you on the season, anybody can turn it up. The Knicks are number 4 in limiting points in the paint. They're number 6 in limiting points in the paint. The Knicks are number 12 in limiting fast break points. They're number 2 in limited fast break points. They're number 3 in limiting second chance points. And it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out because the Knicks are number 2 in getting second chance points, right? So who's going to win out when it comes to, and that's a big part of our identity, getting those second opportunities off those offensive rebounds. So there's the player to player battle. There's the schematic battle. There's how do we limit Wemby? How do we limit the guards? How do they limit Brunson? And then there's the different facets of the game, second chance points, fast break points. We cannot allow them to get out in transition. I think they are averaging after 16 fast break points per game. It's just not something we can give up tomorrow night. Anything else? Any matchups you're looking forward to? Any other thoughts on tomorrow's game?
I'm very curious to see who OG is going to play tomorrow, and if it was me personally, I'm putting him on Castle, and and live with that, because you're gonna have to eliminate something from them. You're gonna have to eliminate something from them. He's the one that can pretty much put up a triple-double. He can get inside that paint and tear things down. And then he's a rebounder, he can score, and he can pass. So, but I don't like him on Fox. It's a waste of time, I think, for me to put him on I don't like him on Vessel. I don't like him on Vessel neither. But that's the matchup that I'm really like looking at. And I'm really curious.
Oh, that's
I want to see Kolek continue to play great. Not great, but good. I think his turnaround. Now, let me just stay right there. That's the matchup I'm looking at. I get to Kolek later on.
No, go ahead. I just wanted to just give some context. Go ahead, dude. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, I really like what's happening with Kolek right now. And I believe his turnaround was that game we had, I think was last week, when we had the game pretty much wrapped up and Brown took the starters out. The same night when Josh had to immediately pass his baby to Mitch and get back in the game. I believe during that time, because he was in there, and you know, as a point guard, you always feel like the game is mine. We lose, it's because of me. We win, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing my job, you know. And the point guard, when he see things slip out of the way, it's normally the point guard's fault, how he feel. And I think he took into his mind frame that I blew a major opportunity. And ever since then, he's been playing better basketball. And I appreciate Mike not giving up on him right then and there. He's been putting him right back out there for his learning stages and everything. And I like the way he played, especially the last game. He's been playing good basketball. So, but my matchup, I'm really curious on who OG is going to play. And then I'm really curious to make sure OG can go turn around on the offense and put that type of work on the same person he's checking. Not too many nights he has a matchup where he takes completely off on the offensive end because his assignment is really, really like that on the defensive end. But tomorrow, OG's supposed to be able to play on both sides of the floor. So I'm looking at him.
Listen, I don't have Wembenyama up here because he didn't start the last game, and there's indications that he might not start this game.
He's going to start tomorrow. He's going to start tomorrow.
He's going to start tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah, you can bet the house on FanDuel on that.
Okay.
I ain't refunding the money back.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I would think he would start, but I heard rumblings that, you know, he might not. Who knows? Who knows? This is who started their last game. Listen, Wembenyama is not a center. I wouldn't play him with Cat. I would play him with OG. Now, what you're gonna do with Cat, that's a whole other story. But I feel like you have to play him with guards. OKC played him with Caruso. I think you have to play him. He's going to shoot over the top no matter what. He's not somebody that's going to post you up. He's trying to take you, off the dribble, and pull up. And I think that's a difficult cover for a big. We'll see what Mike Brown elects to do. I'm wondering if he'll play a little zone tomorrow, with the guards. They're not, particularly good 3-point. They're not terrible 3-point shooting team. I think they are 17th in attempts and 11th in 3-point percentage. So they still top half 3-point percentage, but that may help you keep them out of the paint. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Any other matchups you're looking for, or any thoughts on how you would play this team or Wembenyama defensively, or the guards? You're muted, Shuttle.
I'm hoping it's OG against Wemby. And to your question / point, if Wemby does start, then I don't think it's the worst if he has to go up against Harrison Barnes. I mean, Harrison is, kind of a rebounder in the corner guy. He's not really doing a whole lot off the dribble, getting to the hoop where Carl's slow foot defense is gonna be exposed too bad. And if Luke Cornett starts, I mean, then it's pretty much straight up the way you have it. They did say they are mulling to bring Wemby off the bench, but I wouldn't be shocked if he came out.
Either would I.
And started. You got to kind of build the hype in the storyline and have him come out and get everybody excited. Oh boy, he's starting. So, but I think everything else is as is, and Brunson's going to give up some buckets to Fox. He's going to give Fox a bunch of buckets. I think Bridges is a great matchup on Castle to minimize his ability to get into the paint. And Vassell's is he's a little bit of mix of everything. So I mean, I think the way you got it is how it should line up. And I mean, I'm just excited, man. Like Boogie said, it's not only what we can do to stop them, what are they going to do to stop us? Cat should get buckets regardless of who's on them. Bridges should be able to score on Castle and get out there. Same thing with Brunson. I don't see Fox stopping Brunson at all. And I think I'm excited, man. I got my popcorn ready.
Any concerns, though, that they can throw multiple defenders at Brunson, though, right? It's not going to just be, Fox, right? They can throw multiple defenders
Castle will probably stick Brunson, actually.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. That's going to be his assignment. He's their best defensive player on the team, point blank. So he's going to try to check him full court and everything. So when you pass the ball ahead to the other guys, go do damage.
And Brunson, get that young boy in foul trouble. Do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Get him early. Get him with that. Get him with a couple of those.
How important is it for Brunson, though?
You know what I'm saying, Jay Boogie?
I feel you, dog.
Ajay, how important is it for Brunson, though, to get everybody involved initially, or do you feel he needs to come out like he did? I think, was it the Orlando game or the game before Orlando, where he just came out and set the tone from the beginning? How would you like to see him play it?
Queen, he absolutely has to come out and set the tone, right? Having said that, the guys just now was talking about, oh, actually, you just asked, are they going to be throwing multiple defenders at him? And if they do that, that's part of setting the tone also, is getting other people involved. Because if they throw in multiple guys at you, not just multiple, but different, like giving you different looks, right? And you get other people involved. It depends on what the game calls for, what the strategy is, right? If to start the game you get in double team, obviously somebody's going to be open, all right? And God forbid their shot is dropping, quick, they'll go away from that strategy, right? And if it's single coverage and you're torching, you killing somebody in the paint from three, you crossing somebody, they're gonna try different stuff to slow down Jalen Brunson. That's what every team does, right? They try to stop Brunson, and they feel, listen, this season more than last season, I feel like we've been able to we've been successful when they actually throw different looks at Brunson. So when they slow him down, we've had other guys who take it upon themselves to do other stuff, right? We've seen some games where Mikal Bridges go off, where he brings up the ball half the time. Or especially now that we have Josh Hart in the starting lineup, he too can bring up the ball. He too can go on those one-man fast break runs, right? It depends on what the other team's throwing at you. So it's a little bit of both. Setting the tone could be, listen, if they're giving you the shot and they fall in, you take them. Or it could also mean, get the other guys involved, depending on what the strategy is from the other team. It will take a few minutes, the first couple of minutes of the game, to see what the game plan is, and then you adjust on the run. So it's a little bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else on this matchup? Anything you're
Well,
concerned about?
I,
Anything you're looking at schematically?
I, I'm
Uh, Go ahead.
I'm concerned about if the Aaron Fox having one of those Aaron Fox games. What are we gonna do? I mean that's gonna be, he's a guy that's given us problem in the past. He's had some trash games against us, no doubt, but he's also had some good games historically against us, right? If he's one of those games, like, what do we do? You know, I mean, you look at the matchups, like who, because you remember you haven't matched up with Brunson. We know
No.
Brunson.
I just listed who the starters were the last game,
Well,
and then who the starter. I don't think those are who going to be playing each other. I just put, that's who started
right.
the last game for each team. I think there'll be cross matches as far as who's guarding who.
Well, yeah, I mean, usually when the possessions start with one match, all they have to do is set one pick, and then everything is shuffled, right? Shout out to DJ Shuttle. With so, but it happens that way in the game. So if the Aaron Fox, if he's having a good game, I think we'll be in trouble.
Well, listen, there's things that Mike Brown could do schematically to help slow him down, but it's about his process. Well, right? If you double team him and he's really quick at getting the ball out his hands, and whoever he throws it to is pretty quick at. Now we're in rotation. It could be hard, but hopefully Mike Brown won't just sit here and just allow him to just cook all game without making some sort of either lineup adjustment or schematic adjustment.
Yeah, hopefully. And I mean, more likely than not, you're going to be able to rely on Jalen Brunson to have a good game. You just need the other guys to fill in. Somebody in the chat mentioned Cat's going to be pivotal to this game, and he is. If he's aggressive, if his 3-pointer is falling, that 3-pointer is very important tomorrow. If he's get that, if that's falling tomorrow, we're going to be in a good place, a very, very good place.
But not just that. I mean, they don't have a lot of length and height on that team, right? Other than Wemby, I'm not,
he
Barnes,
makes up for a lot of that, though.
How do you pronounce his name?
Champagne, yeah.
Yeah, Champagne. They don't have a lot of height on that team, So when I'm thinking about Brunson playing well, I'm not even thinking about his counting stats. I'm just thinking of how is he reading the game? How is he playing off of what they're trying to do for him? We know he can get his points, right? But that may be their strategy. Let him go ham. Let him go ham, get his points, lock everybody else down. I need Brunson to be a maestro tomorrow. I need him to, score his points, draw, kick, get everybody involved. If the offense seems to be slowing down and you need to, go for yours to kind of get us back in gear, do that. I just need him to be really reading the game tomorrow, really tuned into what they're trying to do, what they're trying to take away, and what's available on any given play to take advantage of it. So I'll be locked into his process as well. I'll be locked into Mike Brown schematically as well, and I'll be locked into Cat. I feel like Cat is making things harder than it needs to be when he's these guys he might be able to overpower because, like I said, I don't see a lot of height and strength on this team. Obviously, if Wemby is on him, there's length. But are we even going to feature Cat? Like, there's some games when he's almost like an afterthought. I don't think tomorrow's game should be like that. I do think he needs to be featured. So we'll see how it goes. Anybody else want any thoughts on this game before I get to the chat?
I'd like to see Bridges come out early to your point about Brunson, because if you're making a concentrated effort to, let's just call it, stop him, slow him down, right? There were some games early in the season where Brunson was playing quite a bit off the ball. He was able to get some easy baskets, get some catch and shoots, I think that's that is one of the things. While there are a lot of things that are quite similar from last year's team to this year's team, that is one thing that I have seen, which is the passing increase. There's a lot of passes and movement with the team, and Brunson and the ISO ball has been reduced until last couple of games. So I like to see Bridges, get to the hoop early, get his midi going early, and yo, Bridges, you come out assertive that you are going to start the game as the guy, and then we let Brunson score when he needs to and close the game if it's close. But that's what I'd like to see.
Okay. Anything else before we get to the chat?
Everybody gonna get their numbers, whether Brunson starts out like that or he doesn't. But I think the squad is more comfortable when he come out there and set that physical tone. I'm here to crush you. I think they really like and feed off that. You know what I'm saying? And when last game, the whole starting five was in double figures, I believe. They got issues and problems, but I think Fox is going to match up with Bridges because Bridges is going to he needs to check him anyway. You know what I mean? And he don't play no D at all. So Shuttle said it right. I like Bridges. You got to make your presence felt tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the games where you're going to get an opportunity. Take advantage of your opportunity, and don't just settle for it when it comes to you. Look to not do anything with it. Make them pay. It's what you need to do. Make them pay. Yeah, man, let's go, man. Let's go.
It's gonna be a good one. Just differences in styles, different matchups, different. Oh man, it's just so much to take a look at. All right, let's get to the chat really quick before we move on to Indiana. Sharice Duncan.
What's up, chat?
What's up, chat?
Did you do the super chat, Queen?
I didn't do the super chat. Let me do the super chat first. Thank you, Jason Benjamin. Appreciate you. We are 4th in scoring defense. Not bad at all. Yep. Yeah. And then specifically, let me see. I didn't want to put it there. Opponent defense, yeah. Opponent points per game. The Knicks give up 112.2, which is 4th in the league. Yeah. Let's see. All right, let's see what the chat has to say. Hold on. Sharice Duncan, no banner. The league gonna laugh at us. But listen, Indiana hung. Did Indiana win it? Milwaukee hung up their banner, and so did the Lakers. So I don't know. We'll see. Pops 178. Cat and Brunson need to have good games. You betcha.
I don't even understand why that's a thing. We hang up Eastern Conference banners. Why not hang this banner up?
To me, it's just a corny tournament. To me personally, but I get it. If it's just personal preference, the Knicks won it. They want to hang up the banner. Hang up the banner. It's cool. But I don't. Jamrock always. No, it does not look like the 11th ranked defense. Okay. Sharice Duncan again have to improve on your transition defense, but other than that, we're straight. Okay. All right. D Grant 63. This is a bad matchup for the Knicks cause of Wemby. I mean, listen, I to me, if you're gonna guard him, I'm guarding him with OG. Right? He's a guard. You need somebody out there that can guard him, on the perimeter. If he's gonna shoot over the top, he's gonna shoot over the top over anybody. So I'm interested in that matchup. But listen, he's not the only one on the team. We got to keep those guards out the lane, and they gotta, to Boogie's point, they gotta deal with us too. They gotta deal with our 3-point shooting. They got to deal with our second chance, opportunities. They have to deal with the fact that we have 5 players in that starting lineup that can score. Not only can score, that can pass, shoot, and dribble. Like all 5 of them, can do that. Now, Josh Hart, will his 3-point shooting hold up? It's been really good this season. Will it hold up? Remains to be seen. Will they respect it? Because sometimes they may still say, all right, I mean, we'll give him, whatever he's going to take. I'm not running all the way out, and guarding him and creating this space in the middle. No, we're going to take our chances that he's either not going to shoot it well or he's not going to shoot it enough to hurt us. And we're going to have a guy just hang back and be able to help. Right. So we'll see how they play Josh Hart, and we'll see how Josh Hart make them pay, and not just in hitting your shots. Josh Hart can get in the key and get in the lane. He's a secondary ball handler. He's a secondary playmaker. To me, it's more than him just shooting the threes, rebounding, getting a second chance points, getting in the key, creating easy looks for others. It's going to be interesting to see how they play him, and it's going to be interesting to see how he responds as well.
I want to see him. One thing that I haven't really been seeing him do as much this season. I'm missing him rebounding, the defensive rebound and taking off, pushing the rock. I'm missing that. I need some of that tomorrow. Boom! I'm pushing this down. I'm pushing it down on down your back tonight. I need them to be on their heels going backwards. I need pressure to be going on them. I don't think OKC put enough pressure on them. And I don't know, maybe they got shocked by how they play. Who knows? You get your chance Christmas Day or whatever against them. But I'm ready to see. I think tomorrow's is a Josh Hart game too. I think Josh is going to be any and everywhere. He has to be, because we got to be better than them. Loose balls, pause, for those that do that. But we have to be able to get all those little things, those off the stat, stats. We need to win those possessions. Whatever it takes, charges, whatever it takes, I want to win those stats. That's not on the everyday stats. And everything else will take care of course.
50 balls, like all deflections, like all the hustle stats. Yeah.
Give me some of them PJ Tucker stats. Yeah. With some of them type plays. I need those.
Stuff that won't show up in the stat sheet.
Right. That's right. I know Coach going to do his thing. Coach is going to do his thing. I love the way he's been coaching. He's been observing, very watching. Think he's just rocking them lenses he got on his face just to rock them? No, he's really watching and observing this game. And when the tip's off, he gives them, their rope. I'll let you go ahead. You figure it out. Then when you don't want to figure it out, I'll remind you. And then if I'm reminding you and it's not working, then I'll change it. He makes in-game adjustments. And I seen him do that against Orlando. Every time Orlando came, it was something else that, we did that, that allowed that to shut down. And I need that. I need everybody to be on their P's and Q's tomorrow. I don't care if it's Monica calling the game. Everybody need to be rocking tomorrow. Everybody need to have a say-so. Ain't that right, Pilot?
Cool, Knicks. Good luck tomorrow. It's going to be a good one. Go Spurs. Listen. Cool, Knicks. Don't be coming up here with Knicks in your name talking about Go Spurs. Go.
For real.
He's confused.
What's up with that?
He's confused.
Dropping by.
We got room for you over here, Nick.
Cool,
Knicks got room for you, Nick.
Yeah, it should be a good one. Victor Wembenyama scored 60 points last time he played us without Mitch. Listen, the Knicks. Listen, everybody has to do their part. That's all I'll say. Everybody have to do their part. Like, this is not going to be just Mitch. This is not going to be just Cat. This is not going to be just OG. Everybody is going to have to come in and do their part against Wembenyama. I'm not going to sit here and say he scored 60 because Mitch didn't play. This guy's a freak of nature. You know what I mean? All right.
I just, the more and more we talk about it, the more and more I'm reminding myself how much the Knicks have, no pun intended, the Knicks have the OGs in this matchup. You know, how the Knicks have the grown men and they have the young men. And you know, I remember when I was a shorty coming to play with the old heads, and they played with a certain type of physicality that made you, you know, think twice about going to the hoop, or you know, you just it's a mental part of the game that you got to be faced with, and the Knicks got to do that tomorrow. Like, I mean, off the rip from the first play, even if you got to have a foul call, so what? Like, play physical against these guys off the rip, go to the hoop, give them a little hoop in the arm with the shoulder, the elbow, whatever you got to do, because like, don't let this be a finesse game, because if you let it be too much of a finesse game, they gonna feel like they start getting in a defensive mode and they gonna get a groove and all that. You know what I mean? You know, we don't need guys like Castle and Harp and Champagne. We don't need these first, second, third year guys coming in like they blowing smoke. Like, they need to feel like the smoke is being blown on them. And I'm not, and we're not just talking about making shots. I'm talking about the physicality.
Yeah. One thing I'll say about San Antonio, they're young. They want all the smoke. Like they don't. They're a. You do you hear Wembenyama in press conferences? It's like
He talk real slick.
he's like
He's talking real slick.
He want the smoke. Like they're very confident. I do want the Knicks to play physical. I'm just not sure how much that's gonna that's gonna impact them. But for sure, I want the Knicks to play physical. And the Knicks are an experienced team, so let's see if that if that helps them. All right.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, like in the great words of my guy from The Wire, Avon Barksdale. He told Stringer, sometimes this ain't that school. This ain't that book knowledge, String. This that other thing. You know what I mean? So tomorrow it's that other thing. You know what I mean? We know Bridges, Hard. I mean, you know, Brunson, we know y'all smart, you know, y'all gentlemen, y'all cool guys. But tomorrow it got to be that other thing. Avon Barksdale, quote unquote.
All right. Sunny Mongoose, there are teams out there with much softer schedules. Yeah, I mean, I think for all of these ratings, we're not going to really know until we get deep into the season, right? When everybody then kind of went through the league at least once. Still the real AD, Cat versus Wemby. Cat has to keep his game outside, and if he gets his shot blocked a couple of times, just stay with it.
Shout to my boy AD. Yo, AD was shaking, my guy.
Code D Music is going to be a dogfight. All right. We got 3 more teams to run through. And when I say run through, I mean run through. Okay. Because this is, obviously San Antonio is the biggest matchup, but we do have Indy, we do have Philly, we do have Miami this week as well. And, for those that don't know, the game against San Antonio won't count in the standings. It'll be the 83rd game, so to speak. So it won't be reflected in the standings. The Orlando game was, and the Orlando game was also reflected in the season series, right? Which is now 2-2. I think at one point I said the Knicks lost the season series 3-1, but that game does count. All right, let's get to it. Thursday, we play Indiana. They're 6-20, 14th in the East, 4-6 in their last 10. They've lost 2 in a row. They're 5-9 at home, 1-11 on the road. That game is Thursday, 7 p.m. in Indiana. This is who started for them the last game: Andrew Nembhard, Ethan Thompson, Benedict Mathurin, Pascal Siakam, and Jay Huff. He's the center for Memphis. He's in the starting lineup for them now, and he's been playing pretty good. the usual starting lineup for us, I would think. McBride and Shamet, I haven't heard anything about them coming back this week, so I anticipate that they will be out. As far as the storyline surrounding this team, there have been a staggering amount of injuries besides Halliburton. So let me just run through this. Just this team is the Knicks. I don't want to hear. I know they're due for a win, but it cannot be against the Knicks. So besides Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin has missed 11 games earlier this season. Nembhard missed 7 straight games before returning in November. Neesmith suffered a knee injury on November 13th, and he's been sidelined for 13 consecutive games and counting. Obi Toppin has been out since the 4th game of the season, with a foot injury. So they're dealing with major injuries, and they're just not a good team. 19th in defensive rating. Now let me go to the other slide. 30th in offensive rating, 19th in defensive rating, 27th in net rating, 27th in rebound percent. They're just not a good rebounding team. They're not a good defensive team. Other than opponent 3-point percentage, they're number 2. And I think that's something, and the Knicks are a pretty good 3-point shooting team. They take a lot of shots from there. So it's going to be interesting to see what wins out. Our superior shooting or their defense defending the 3. Mathurin is having a breakout season for them. Jay Huff is now starting. Shout out to Obi Toppin, inducted into Dayton's Hall of Fame. Quick thoughts on this game. Only thing I have to say is I don't want to hear anything, but
win by 20 or win by 30. That's all I got to say.
And they better not come here and get right against us. For some reason, we always let our guards down against those teams, those single-digit win teams.
Tyler Kolek, this should be a game for you to do your numbers. Let Brunson get a break. Coming in and do your J Boogie. You hurt?
Yeah, they're okay. I mean, go ahead, Boogie.
Now, go ahead, Queen.
I just wanted to say they started 1-14, and I think since then they've been 5-7. I want to say, but still not a great team. Go ahead, Boogie.
We've been where they was at. We've been where they're at now 2 years ago when we had so many injuries at the wrong time. Just unfortunately, they're having it, during the regular season. But we're going to treat them just like they're anybody. And they come inside this building, they're going to get dealt with. And that's one of the things I do like and appreciate this year. Mike Brown, that's one of the things that he spoke upon when he first got here. This building right here, y'all need to protect this building. Y'all don't lost too many games in this building, on too many big time moments. Even old school player nights and getting eliminated on this floor. You need to protect this building. When they come in this building, y'all need to be ready to send them up out of here. And I love our record right now. That's one of the things we have done this season is the record in our building. It speaks for itself. And so when you come up inside here, you're gonna have to have a serious type game that night, or we're gonna just have to have a very serious type fall off. But Indiana, I got no love and help for you. No love and help for you at all. You know what I'm saying? We're in a different phase of what's happening in the league. Right now, we're trying to win the cup. That's on our mind right now. Then we'll deal with you and push you back further down where you're at now. That's what we want to do. Keep your foot down on their neck when they get injured. Don't let up off them. So what? So be it. So be it. Y'all know the song.
Anything else? Ajay?
No. I said they I'm not trying to hear they better not come over here and all of a sudden have like you said, they do for a win. It better not be against us.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Quick work at Indiana on this show, just like the Knicks gonna do quick work at Indiana on Thursday night. All right, back to back. We play the next night, Friday at MSG. The Philadelphia 76ers, they're 14-11 on the season, 7th in the Eastern Conference, 5-5 in their last 10. They lost their last game, I believe it was to Atlanta. They're 8-7 at home, 6-4 on the road. This is the projected starting lineup. Now, Maxey has been out the past 2 games with an illness. I anticipate he'll be back by Friday. Maybe not. But the last game they started VJ Edgecombe, their rookie, Quentin Grimes, Paul George, Dominique Barlow, and Joel Embiid. Maxey was out, Oubre was out, and Watford was out. I think Watford used to play for Portland. Was it Portland? But anyway, he was out as well.
Yeah, he played for Portland. He played for Portland, and he played for the that team across town.
Okay. All right. Like I said, Maxey has missed 2 straight games. They're less dependent on Embiid this season because he's missed a lot of games. As a matter of fact, let me get that. He missed 14 of their first 24 games. He's been back the past 2 games. He had a throwback game versus Indy where he had 39 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 3-pointers, a steal in 32 minutes. That was a game that I believe they won. And then last night he played in Atlanta, and he played pretty well. They won that. I think they won that game. No, they lost that game. And George has been back as well. So this is a team that's finally rounding into shape, so to speak, in terms of health. And shout out to Geoff when we did the collaboration show with Nick the Time. And he said, I think if Philly is healthy, they can be a top team in the East. And, he was laughed off the panel. Not by me, Geoff. Not by me. But they're rounding in, they are rounding into shape. They're less dependent on Embiid because they know he's going to be in and out of the lineup. He said himself that if he's not feeling it, he's not going to force himself to play. I didn't get the sense he was forcing himself to play, but he said if he's not feeling it, if he doesn't feel well, he's just not going to play. So Maxey, Edgecombe, those young guys have really been the driving force behind the Philadelphia 76ers, including Quentin Grimes in this young season. But now Embiid is rounding back into shape. Paul George is rounded back into shape. They may have their full lineup when they play us Friday. Yeah. Thoughts on Philadelphia? Shuttle, your mic is.
Yeah, thank you. I try to keep the mic off when I'm not talking. But King had a good season last year. Grimes had a good season last year. He's doing well this year. Edgecombe's having an excellent rookie season. They got Maxey. I mean, as far as guards go, they got 4 excellent guards.
Right.
They're doing well. With Paul George returning, if Embiid plays, has a healthy game, I mean, yeah, it could be trouble. I'm hoping that we do this alternating thing with Mitch and that he does not play the Indiana game respectfully. Hopefully we get by without needing Mitch and keep Mitch healthy for the Philly game the following night. And this way, if Embiid is playing, we can put the Embiid stopper on him.
That's one thing we've seen with Mike Brown, right? If there's a back-to-back, he chooses, at least he did it the last time, which game Mitch is going to play in. It doesn't always have to be the first game of the back-to-back. 15th in offensive rating, 12th in defensive rating, 15th in net rating, average rebounding team. Jay Boogie, thoughts on the matchup against Philly?
They're capable of winning a game. They are a complete regular season team now. They used to be a playoff team. They're not no longer a playoff team. They are a regular season team, and they're capable of winning because they have a guard that can win a game on any given night. But with Embiid not being able to be Embiid, they're going nowhere. See, a healthy Embiid can win a series. and Maxey can win a game. So it's a difference between those two. But they don't had all the chances. They don't did the they don't have the draft picks. They don't have everything. I don't care nothing about where they are. I don't feel no sorrow for them. None of that. So be it. So be it. You know, they're another team that I want to make sure we keep our foot down on their neck. You know, don't even let them up. I don't care nothing about them. You know, shout out to Grimes, but you're not a Knick, so I care less about you. You know, you come inside this building. We play them back to back.
No. We play Philly the day after Indiana.
Day after,
if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so because I was gonna say the first day was gonna be a broom and the second day is gonna be a dustpan. I don't care nothing about them. Put them together. Put them in the trash.
I will say this. You know, right now it seems like Maxey is their best player, but if Embiid is rounding into shape, and you have Maxey and Embiid, and he doesn't need to be. I don't think he needs to be Embiid of old, where he's carrying the team. If he's getting significant help from Edgecombe and Paul George, if he's healthy, and Maxey, who's taking the next step, in my opinion, I'm not saying that I believe the Knicks could beat them in a 7-game series, but I think that's a good team. I think you know that's a playoff team if they're healthy.
4-2, sis. 4-2.
Okay. Listen, I'm not arguing that the Knicks can't beat them. I think the Knicks will beat them, but I do think they're a playoff team. They're top 10 in opponent field goal percentage and 3-point percentage. So you know, let's see how that plays out. You know, we know Knicks 45% of their shots from three, number 5 in 3-point efficiency. They're 8th in fast break points. They're 9th in second points. It's going to be interesting to see how that game plays out if they're fully healthy. And I think that game is at MSG. If I'm not, I think I just put it up, right? It's at MSG.
It's a home game.
It is a home game.
Yeah.
All right.
All I'm gonna say about them is don't let their record fool you. Don't let their record. You know, Edgecombe has been very impressive. He's been an excellent NBA player. You know, his first season. So, you know, they play fast. The guards play fast, so we have to be on our P's and Q's. Like we have to pay attention to that. So, you know, they're not a superb defensive team, so we'll be able to score against them if the shots are falling. But they play fast and they're tough to guard. Our size, we have a lot of matchup problems throughout the league. So we just have to find a way to play decent defense and outscore them. But don't let their record fool you. They're a very good team. You know, they don't even need Embiid at 100%. You know, he has a lot of gravity, Queen, like you like to say. You know, if he's on the court, he's going to pull some people, right? And that's all it takes to get other guys open. You know, Edgecombe, Grimes, Maxey, you know, these guys, they can score. So
I guess for me, it's more about these guys have been playing really well without Embiid, and now you're adding him back into the mix. You know, sometimes you can add somebody back into the mix and it makes things worse, right? That's what Miami, we'll talk about them next. You know, what they're dealing with.
Well, the difference with Embiid, they put him back in the mix, but they don't force feed him. You know what I'm saying? They still play their game, and if it gets to him, it gets to him. You know, so they don't necessarily call out plays for him or build the game around him.
Right. Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to that.
Hey, yo, Embiid, let me holler at you. I'm here to tell you, Embiid, that Nino Brown said your services is no longer needed with the Sixers. This is Maxey's team.
Basically, it is, and you know they made that shift, and
it's not a bad shift.
It's not a bad shift.
Yeah, Maxey was the one that I was like, yo, Man, trade up and go get him, man. He right there. So, but we went and got his sidekick, but that story's never here nor there. So, but
Yeah, for sure. Anything else on Philly? I'll get to the chat once we finish up on Miami, and then we'll just close it out. Anything else on them? Nope. All right. It seemed like we played Miami and Orlando.
I know.
6 times apiece already. They're 14-11 in the Eastern Conference in 6th place, 5-5 of their last 10. They've lost their last 4 games. 10-3 at home, 4-8 on the road. We play them Sunday, 6 p.m. at Madison Square Garden. They haven't played since Tuesday when they lost to Orlando in the Cup. So their next game, I think, is Thursday. So they'll be well rested for whoever they play that night. They're number 5 in defensive rating. Oh, well, let me get to this first. All right. This is who they started the last game. Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, Norman Powell, Andrew Wiggins, Bam Adebayo, Rozier is out. Khalil Ware comes off the bench. Since November 4th, they've been a drop. There have been a drop in points per game, drop in offensive rating, drop in net rating. That has coincided with Tyler Hero being back in the lineup. And so there's, thoughts that maybe he's just not a fit for the way they're playing, really up-tempo, moving the ball, moving your body. Is he a fit in the new offense? Oh, I got Obi Toppin in there again. Shout out to Obi. I know you don't play for Miami, but shout out to you anyway. Thoughts on this matchup yet again?
Can I just say something?
Sure.
Terry Rozier is out. That was a ha 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 moment.
No, right? That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, easy.
Ooh-wee. Terry Rozier is out. Nah, that's a big fact. He all the way out. He outside. Catch him outside. Yo, listen, as long as Spoelstra's there and as long as Pat Riley is there, you got to just bring your hard hat, bring your lunch, and come ready to play grown man basketball. The records don't mean nothing. They could lose 8 in a row. When you play them, you better come like you ready to play some ball. They got the same record as Philly. I mean, they lost 4 in a row and they're still 14-11. It's only a few games behind the Knicks. It's not like they're at the bottom of the league or nothing like that. So you gotta respect them. Same way you gotta respect Philly. They bring different challenges, but you gotta play that 3-point line with them. That's a team that's gonna chuck them up. And they got Tyler Hero. That boy can put it in the basket. So you got to guard that 3-point line. That's my biggest concern playing against Miami is the 3-point defense, and making sure that you contain Bam as much as possible, because that's not an easy matchup for Cat if he's on him, and if the OG's on him, it's not an easy matchup for OG either. So they pose some challenges, but obviously that's a team that I think Brunson lights up, because they got nobody to stick with Brunson on that team.
Nobody. But I'll say this, Shuttle, before we get to Ajay and Boogie. They're 8th in the league in 3-point percentage, but they're only 21st in attempts. But trust and believe, they're going to get them up against the Knicks, because they know the Knicks don't defend the 3-point line very well, right? So they're going to get them up against the Knicks. They remind me of the Knicks last season, right? Good in efficiency, but just wasn't putting up enough volume. But I think a lot of it is their style of play is very fast, getting out. You see how Orlando ran it up our backs? They're number 1 in field goal attempts. They're number 1 in pace. Now, there's been some hiccups with them since November 24th, but this is how they like to play. The 3-point shot is it doesn't seem to be a priority for them. They want to. It's points in the paint. Actually, they take 62.4% of their shots in the paint, right? And so that's going to be, a good challenge for the Knicks, who are very good. If I'm not mistaken, let me see if I can get to this. Who the Knicks are very good in point in the paint defense. Point in the opponent, the Knicks are fourth. So it's going to be interesting to see which one wins out. But Boogie, Ajay, thoughts on this matchup?
I mean, you already know how I feel about Miami, but this, but with Tyler Hero coming back, man, this guy, with our poor 3-point defense might be a game that he comes in here and all of a sudden get right and fits perfectly with the team. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we could, we're a little bit conscious of that and put a body on him and don't allow him to start shooting those threes. Don't allow him to get in rhythm, But otherwise, listen, it's a toss-up. Anytime we play the Heat, no matter who's on the team on our side or on their side, except maybe when they had the LeBron, Wade, and Bosh trio, anything can happen with those two teams, And no matter who's on the roster, who the lineups are, there's always a buzz in the air. There's always like a feeling towards one another when we play those teams, when we play that team. And I don't expect anything different, okay? What are we, 1-2 against them so far this season? So, I'm looking to get even, and hopefully we win the cup, and that gives us a little even more momentum in the next few games, so we could keep on winning.
The Knicks are 9-1 over their last 10. I don't know how much more momentum we need. They're playing really well, beating the teams that they're supposed to.
Our win streak's only 5, so how about we go to 10?
I hear you. Cold D, playing in Miami is always a test and staying healthy. I'm sure Ajay would agree
absolutely,
with that.
Especially with Bam and his football picks, his tackles. They call him setting screen, but he tackles players and hold on to them. So,
yeah, and they're not a good defensive team. They are number 5 in defense. They're not a good rebounding team. So it's going to be interesting to see if they'll be able to keep the Knicks off the ball. Interesting matchup. They play fast. The Knicks have to be on it as far as their transition defense as well. All right. Anything else before I get to the chat? All right. Paris Duggar, this just in. Those teams are shaking in their boots facing the Knicks. The Knicks are so steady. Brunson career high is 61 against Wemby and the Spurs. All right now. You heard it from Paris Duggar. Sherwin believes the 76ers can win the East. Okay. All right.
Sherwin.
I mean, listen.
No, Queen.
Whoa. You're talking about Embiid at his fully healthy. Forget, he doesn't even have to be the Embiid of old, but a fully healthy Embiid, a fully healthy Paul George, Maxey,
Edgecombe, McCain, Grimes.
I think they'll be good. I still don't think they beat the Knicks.
They're not winning the East. On paper, yeah, it looks like that on paper. But
hey, listen, anybody get hot at the right time. I mean, do we see Indiana going to the finals a couple years ago? Nah, that was completely unexpected.
Yeah. Size 9 said the Magic gonna be the best team. Oh, wait, hold up, Snoop.
Yo, we got some. Yo, you got anti Knicks fans creeping in your chat, Steph. What you got going on?
No.
Especially, it's not like the Knicks aren't a good team, and we said, no, how you gonna say they're gonna beat the Knicks are a really good team.
The Magic.
I know size 9 look like he's not a Knicks fan, but he says he is. So,
okay.
He says he is. I don't know.
Lee Escobedo, I'm still laughing at Geoff for that 76ers take. Yeah, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, Lee, he did throw in the caveat if healthy, right? I'm pretty sure he did. Anyway. 3DY NBA Fox about to have a master class on Brunson. No, well, first of all, they're not going to be playing each other. Number one. And number two, Brunson Fox better hope he doesn't have to guard Brunson. And I hear what you're saying, and vice versa. Those guys won't be guarding each other. Okay. To leave it all on the floor game. Let's win that cup.
True indeed.
Wiz BKLA. This will be a great challenge because of Wemby, Castle, Fox, Vassell, and Harper, where Fox is the most experienced and probably fastest, is also the shortest at 6'3". It won't work. I've been a Knick fan longer than you've been watching basketball. Okay. All right. Any last words?
Make sure you hit the like button.
Definitely.
Look at this lineup on a Sunday night, right? We got Shuttle, we got Boogie.
Monday
On the Monday night. Sorry. Yeah. On the Monday night, we got Shuttle and Boogie in the house.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna say something real quick, right? And this is for anybody that doesn't appreciate this guy. And I'm gonna let it be known what we have. We got a top 4 player in the league right now. In the NBA. And when I say the NBA, I don't say National Basketball Association. I call it now Brunson is around. NBA. Now Brunson is around. It's time for y'all to give this guy his props for who he is and what he does on the floor. Across the league, anywhere. I do believe right here, right now, LeBron, you need to pass the torch over to him. Give it to him. And because LeBron, I say the torch because he's still the face until he leaves. LeBron has the torch was passed over to him. One thing about this league, they're not going to pass it over. We know we got Luka. We know we got the Joker. We know we got Giannis is hurt. And now we know, and Wemby's just coming back. For real, and we got SG. The top ball players, they really pretty much put them in that order. Well, Wemby is not there, but those 5 guys really, they look at that far as the top. Got from OKC, the Joker, Luka, but Giannis is hurt. I think they say now, Caden, you're killing me with Jaylen Brown. But what else more does this guy got to do to show y'all like, yo, I'm a killer. And that's what he is. He is a killer. This guy can win a series for you. I think right now he's on his MVP run. Since he came back from that ankle injury, he been tearing it down. Anybody in front of him, he's destroying them. And he carrying the squad with him. I just want Brunson to be able to get, his props throughout the league. Talk about this guy like he's supposed to be talked about. You watching, you viewing, you seeing the game, you see what he doing. When Wade is on the sideline and he tell you, I never seen somebody that, I normally see guys that go by you and keep going. This guy doesn't go by you. He walks beside you and still slows down. And his footwork is crazy. I've been said 2 years ago, his footwork is the Barry Sanders of the NBA. The Barry Sanders of the NBA. Look at Barry Sanders' footwork when he was just get them handoffs. And then look at Brunson. He's a cream Elijah one at point guard. So I just want us to be grateful in this guy's journey while we're proceeding to get this championship, NBA Finals. Not just here. It's not going to stop here. But this guy is on a mission. He's on our team. And the league is starting to get scared to death of him. But it's the quote unquote, the surrounding, the ones that, that talk about who this player is and that player, the MVPs and all that. Shout out to Mike Brown. Shout out to Mike Brown. That's another big difference between him and Tom. Tom didn't talk about him as being an MVP. You constantly hear Mike Brown say, yeah, he's an MVP candidate. You daggone right. You daggone right. I love what this guy is doing, man. With us, man. With us, man. Jalen Brunson. Little Rick. A killer. An assassin. A destroyer. Point blank. Man can get a bucket any kind of way, any phase of the game. No, may you rest in peace, Mr. Kobe. And you know I got that song with you and Brunson too. May you rest in peace. But why do you think in that commercial she said, Kobe's daughter said to him, you got to be a killer to get these shoes. Are you a killer? Yeah. When she passed them shoes on to him, for him to really signature have them shoes now. That's the first Kobe signed basketball player for his shoe brand. They gave it to him for a reason. I
gotta push back a little bit, Boogie. Now, just so we clear.
Yeah.
With all of the shambles at point guard for the past 10 years, I'm truly thankful. The team is truly blessed. And I'm not saying I want to trade Brunson for nobody. Just so before I say anything else, I want to put that out there.
Right.
However, before I put him in top 5, maybe I'm putting him between 5 to 10 in the NBA. And truth be told, the way Maxey and Donovan Mitchell play at guard in the East, if somebody said they were putting them two ahead of Brunson, even though you could argue Brunson, I couldn't be like, nah, you dragging it or you reaching by putting Maxey or Mitchell ahead of him.
So you say Maxey and Donovan, and this is what I'm going to say.
And I'm not saying that I'm putting them ahead.
Right.
If other people said it, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that.
Okay, I'm gonna unstretch it for them.
Talk about it.
I punished Donovan in the West, in the playoffs. Everybody's seen it. I destroyed him. I made my landing against them in the playoffs when Luka was up out of here. I came over here and I destroyed him in the East, in the playoffs. I'm talking playoffs. I ain't talking about regular season, none of that. I saw when they robbed Brunson for most improved player. I saw when Philly was ranked number 2, and then B went out. The team fell off with him. I saw Brunson carried his team past Maxey to take over that 2 seed. Then I see Brunson eliminate him in the playoffs. Playoffs. This is what I'm talking about. Playoffs. So I don't put nobody above Brunson that he has smashed and eliminated in the playoffs. That's just for me. That's how I look at it. They got Caden over there in Detroit. I don't put him in front of Brunson. Why? He averaged almost 40 against them in the playoffs. Pack them up. Get them out of here. What would be the 4-1, something like that?
4-2.
I don't care about I'm just a playoff guy. And Queen always say, what are you going to do on the biggest moments, the brightest lights? This guy right here, the biggest moments, the brightest lights, guess what? The light bulbs go out when he's on the floor. The light bulbs are scared of watching him. They fall off. Get another light up there, man. That beam is out. Brunson, NBA. Now Brunson's around. He's here. Deal with him. Tomorrow, deal with him. 50 clip. Tomorrow. Championship. Cup. Bring it back.
He needs a great game because
Yeah.
Because part of it's like when I equate it to music, right? It's like, yo, you got records that's hot in the region, and then you got hit records.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to me, like Brunson, for his ability, it's like it's a hit, it's like it's a hot record in the area, but that doesn't necessarily equate to being a star, a superstar on all stages across all areas in all regions. Now with the cup, when you got everybody watching, this is the time to have a big game on a big national stage against Wemby. You got the world watching too, because Wemby's playing.
Mm-hmm.
This is when we need Brunson to have one of those games, and this to help the perception that he is everything that you explained. Because in the eyes of other people, because he's not necessarily a highlight player, you know, per se, you know what I mean? He's a winner, and winners don't necessarily equate to the perception of who the best people are to the everyday fan.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue, Shettle, that he's done that already, but teams just like to downplay the Knicks.
Downplayers.
He's done that already on you know, in the playoffs where everybody was watching, you know. So, and
he averaged 40 on Miami.
yeah. The other thing I'll say is that he did beat Maxey in the playoffs, but Maxey wasn't that dude just yet. I still think Brunson is a better player than Maxey, because Maxey has to prove it in the playoffs yet. In the playoffs, like he's taking that next step, but again, that's a regular season next step, right?
Mm-hmm.
The playoffs is something totally different. I've seen Brunson perform in the playoffs. I haven't seen Maxey perform in the playoffs as their top guy. I haven't seen that yet, and that's a whole different experience, you know. When it's different when they gunning for Embiid and you getting what you're gonna get off of him, and they gunning for you, and you still figuring it out and making it happen. That's what Brunson does. He's at the top of the game plan every night. Yes, scheming for him with lineups, schemes, all kinds of stuff. There's nothing you can really do. That's when you know you got one, and the Knicks have one. They still waiting to see if they have one in Maxey. They're gonna have to wait for the playoffs.
He has to install that 4-letter word. You know what that 4-letter word is? Move. When you see Brunson on that by himself and he's move, that means go over there out the way. I'm handling him. Maxey has to get that. He's a great system player, though. And I take nothing away from Maxey. I like Maxey's game. I really wanted us to go get him, you know. But I don't know if Maxey could have been as good as he has in Philly, as good as he could have. This guy right here could be has been in New York. I don't know. Because this jersey, this vest he got on, this a heavy vest. To come in here and perform and do what he does, whew, he's with the greats when it comes to that scoring.
And not just that, without the quickness, without the, you know, he's not the fastest guy. He's not the strongest guy.
Yes.
That's like magic in motion, man. When you're watching Jalen Brunson in his bag, you're like, what the hell is going on here?
Man got so many angles, so many moves, man. Oh my God. Footwork is this. But who was it? Matter of fact, it was Udonis Haslem. And they said his footwork. He said, man, he ain't even got footwork, he got feet work. Do it, Brunson. Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope we get a great game from him tomorrow because, you know, oftentimes when you're a winner and you're not super flashy, you don't get the acclaim. And I'd like him to, like the shot he hit against Detroit, that's a moment. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'd love for him to have a moment like that tomorrow, whether it's a moment like that or just a ball out and hit the 40 ball or, hit 7, 8 3-pointers, something that when you remember this game, when you remember the Knicks winning, there's something that he did that's going to be a storyline that you could talk about that, remember that game Brunson did, dot, 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 dot. You know what I mean? And that's all I think that I think he still needs a little bit more of that, on the resume for the general public, not for me to appreciate him personally.
And that's, you know what, when you say the public, we should not get confused because we haven't won a championship since 1973 if we win this cup and don't accept it. We haven't won nothing. And this man, as our leader, he's striving to bring this city something right now. And it starts here. You got to learn how to become winners. And when you learn how to become winners, those trophies would amount, they will add up. And it starts here. It starts with tomorrow. To bring this city something, to accomplish something, that means you're on your way. It's part of the journey, instead of being like, oh man, we got eliminated last year. We got eliminated from the cup. People was feeling bad. This is something that we're deserving to win. And I want the Knicks to win it. You know what I'm saying? For themselves, for the organization, for the fan base, the city, because we all are deserving of some type of win of something with the Knicks, and we haven't won something in a long time. Best record, nothing.
And the season is so long. If you wait till the playoffs to get hype, and if it don't work out, winning the chip, and you waited and waited, then it just kind of feels like so much pressure when the playoffs start. At least by having this, I feel like, all right, it kind of builds up your playoff, momentum, energy, and armor as a franchise and as a player, but it also kind of maybe brings the fans down from not waiting all the way to the playoffs start. It got this long season, and all right, finally, when's the players going to get here? When the players going to get here? So we got something we can appreciate in the meantime.
Bad Jay?
From Brunson.
Any thoughts on anything?
No, I mean, listen, Brunson's top 5 in my book. So he's had, I watch every Knicks game, and then he's had a lot of moments that, for me, put him in the top 5 category. So, I mean, there's no argument there. He's had it on national TV. He's had it in the playoffs. He's had it, I mean, time and time again. So, top 5 in my book.
Yeah, and I think what's underrated when we talk about the greats of the game, it's a lot of focus on what they do and the talent they have, and not a lot of focus on when they do it. And you may have you take somebody like Larry Bird, you can argue that his skill set, I don't know, because he was an underrated passer and rebound. I don't know if he's the right example, but my point is, you may have guys that are more talented, but they're not giving you what you need in these high leverage games. They're not giving you what you need when the shots are bright. So for me, when you talk about the best players, to me, it's not about skill set. It's not about talent. It's about when are you getting it done? The greats get it done when it matters the most. And that's what I see from Brunson. Game in, he's a playoff riser. You know what I mean? Listen, for me, if you could just stay at the same level as the regular season, as the intensity ramps up, that's pretty good. But you're gonna take it to another level when the heat ramps up. That's something totally different. And I've seen Brunson in high leverage games, high leverage moments come through. To me, that's the mark of the great. Oh, this one is a better ball handler. This one is more athletic. This one is a better. Okay, all right. Okay, that's skill set. That's talent. Okay, fine. I'm not arguing. When are you deploying that skill set? Like, that's what I'm focusing on. And you know it when you see it. The great ones, the lights are never, ever too bright for them. And you see other players falling apart. Like, this player
James
was
Harden,
so
James
in the
Harden,
regular season, right? The playoffs,
Chris Paul.
Right.
Come on, don't get me started on those two guys.
We can go down the line.
Even Paul George.
We got one.
Playoff Paul.
Yeah.
You have to, when that guy, your best defense with that guy is hoping he's off tonight. Please be off. Be off, man. That's how they looked at, please be off. Mike had his way.
Hopefully
Don't say nothing.
Had him up all night. Hopefully the kid had him up all night.
Yeah.
Right.
I hope he's in New York. I hope he, spend more time with the kids last night. I hope he's off today. With Mike, they used to say to Mike, man, don't say nothing to Mike. Don't even say nothing. You say anything to him, you're gonna rile him up. You don't want to do that.
We got one, but it takes a team to win a championship. You got to have that star. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But then you got to have that team around them, and they got to perform in the moment of truth. And I believe we have that player. I believe we have that team. I believe we have that coach. And now it's just a matter of performing in the moment of truth. And we're not going to know that until the playoffs come. So I'm ready for the playoffs now, but we can't skip steps.
Yeah, ways to go.
Can't skip. I said 0 to 50. What about 1 to 49? You got to count them numbers. They count.
1 to 9.
Hey, real quick, Queen, I'm gonna jump off. I know you're ready to shut down. I just want to let anybody know. I hope y'all sharing, hitting that like button, sharing, moving this, this program where it's supposed to be, so it won't be so far where it's not at. Get it there. Hit that like button, share, subscribe this channel, and make sure Queen is where she's supposed to be at. And on another note, just want to let everybody know the Knicks traffic is on any and every platform. I just did drop the joint with me and my brother Papa Left. It's on any and every platform. I don't care where you go. It's the Knicks traffic. You know what I'm saying? So the anthem, please go. Just love that, support that, do what that does. And I'm not finished yet. And get ready to come outside. I've been hibernating. And right now is the perfect time for me to come outside. Dropped that the other day, man. It's on all platforms. The Knicks traffic. Yeah, be in New York real soon to shoot that video too.
Make sure you send it over. You heard?
Appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by, my brother. Always a pleasure. You're welcome anytime.
Yes, Queen. Yeah, shout out to you, Queen. Keep doing. Y'all know, me and you, we conversate with one another, outside the screen. Your pilot, man, keep doing what you doing, man. Ain't nobody flying the plane like, my man Adji, man. Your shuttle, man. Love you, my boy. Keep doing what you doing, man. AKA the best bend technique turntable scratcher it is in the business, And shout out to the chat, man. Hope everybody all is well. Happy holidays. And miss you for Thanksgiving. And I hope you ate well. Holiday Christmases is coming in here, you know what I'm saying? And this is another year for us to leave. I'm not one of the ones that's be anxious to see another year. I want to see another year, but I have to get through a year. So shout out to anybody going through anything. We don't pray that you go through it. We pray that you get through it. Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. Peace, y'all. Let's go get this cup. Not a cup of coffee, not a cup of water, not a cup of tea. Towns jumped out the window to go get that cup, man. Go get it, Towns.
So Jay Boogie, send the joint over. I just put my email in the chat,
private chat,
private chat, not in the main chat. Send that over. We having the DJ Shuttle Knicks Clippers birthday celebration watch party January 7th. Yep. All right, we're gonna be at Ben's Crab Valley Stream with my guy Hollywood Chuck, and I'm inviting you to come out. And Queen's gonna be there. Ajay said He's gonna stop everything. He's gonna pull up. So I'm hoping we can get all my Knicks family to, to pull up, celebrate the Born Day with me, and watch us spank the Clippers.
Facts. I got to get that slide up. January 7th, Ben's Crab, Shuttle's birthday, Knicks watch party. I'll create a slide and we on about 3-4 times a week, so be able to show it. In terms of Boogie's point, supporting the show, I want to stream to Facebook. Now Facebook has it. You have to have a certain amount of followers in order to stream to Facebook. So I put the link in the chat. If you could just click on that link and subscribe to the channel. I also put the QR code on the screen above Ajay. So if you want to, you can use the QR code. The other way.
I got it. Shut up. Get ready to do that.
I see it this way though. Wait, I see it this way.
Oh, you see it that way.
Yeah, I see it this way.
Okay. Yeah, just subscribe to the Facebook channel so we can start streaming to Facebook. We only need like 15 more people so that we can stream
14. I just subscribed.
All right. I appreciate it. Boogie, DJ Shuttle, Ajay. Listen, there's no channel without the panel. We changed our name to Dope Soul Sports Collective just to highlight that we are a collective, right? It's the panel, it's the chat, it's the guys who come through to support the channel, like you and Shuttle, Lee, the Man Cave who was in here today, 2 Knicks chicks, Delusional. That's what makes this channel. That's what makes this channel grow. You guys are always welcome. The weekly show will be Wednesday because Thursday we play. Oh, that's tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll be on lunchtime for the recap by myself. Jeff is on vacation. Y'all know I'm gonna hold it down. And then Wednesday night.
No.
Tomorrow night is tomorrow's Tuesday.
Tomorrow's Tuesday.
Oh, right.
Tomorrow's the club game.
Wednesday I'll be on at lunchtime for the game recap and reaction show, and Wednesday night will be the weekly show because we play Thursday. All right, fam. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Jason Benjamin, appreciate the super chat.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Ajay, when other